Fungicide timings in wheat. You know, Darren and I were just sitting here talking off camera a little bit. Darren made the comment, well, 3 timings post-emerge, yep, but let's talk about pre-emerge too, because you could actually use a fungicide pre-emerge or, you know, with a seed treatment. So you're talking 4 different timings for fungicide in wheat. Why in the world do I need 4 different timings, Darren?
Well, because it's a profitable investment. And we look last year on our farm, one of the things that really stood out, one of the trials that we did was putting some headline in furrow on our corn. We got a nice yield boost. And we were talking about wheat. Well, of course, you get stamina. You can use stamina as that seed treatment, or you can use some kind of fungicide in the furrow, that type of thing, because we have so much disease pressure early. When you think about wheat, we're normally planting it into cooler soils, and if you've got some moisture, that's a prime condition to get some disease issues.
Yeah, but people aren't really going to do it in furrow like we might in corn. It's going to be a seed treatment for the most part, and stamina has the same active ingredient as headline. So it's just like putting headline right on your seed, and a lot of people don't realize, oh, I can use headline then? Yep, you sure can.
One other thing that we've seen with the stamina, even in winter wheat that we've treated with stamina as a seed treatment, we notice a difference with the amount of disease pressure where we use the stamina versus where we haven't in the spring.
Well, it's not just stamina. There are a lot of other good fungicides that can be used as seed treatments, whether it's Charter or Raxol or Dividend. There are a whole bunch of them, and some of those could even be mixed with stamina. But our point is, when you start thinking about fungicide timings in wheat, don't forget about that pre-emerge or that seed treatment option as well. Okay, let's get to the post timings.
Yeah, when we think about the first pass that we're making in wheat, right at that herbicide timing, the wheat's really small. Putting in a half rate of a fungicide in most cases is sufficient to get good disease control early in the season.
It is, but like on our farm this year, we've had kind of wetter conditions in the spring and cooler. I'm concerned we're going to have some disease pressure now, and I know everybody's been talking about drought for the last year, but you know, drought changes in about 1 day when you get a big rain. And I'm much more concerned about, hey, we can have tremendous yield this year. Our winter wheat's coming out looking really good. I want to make absolutely sure that we're doing everything we can. So we're going to use a full rate on our own farm, but a half rate will probably do it, because think about it for just a second. Because a lot of people will say, well, you're cutting rate, and isn't that going to be an issue for resistance? Well, think about this. If I'm out there with just as much, let's say I'm spraying 10 or 15 gallons of water per acre, and I'm using a fungicide, okay, I've got a tiny little plant right now, as opposed to in a month, I got this great big plant that's got 6 times as many leaves on there, and you're gonna spray the same rate then as now? Well, if I spray that lower rate now, it's probably even more than spraying a full rate later.
Well, that's certainly true. And when we think about the products we can use, there are so many, we can't possibly name them all. I just don't want to see guys going out with anything that has Folicure in it, like a Prosaro, this early in the season, and panic that, oh, I've got stripe rust, I want to have that Prosaro out there. No, save that for later. You're going to need it later. If you got a problem early, there's a pretty good chance you may have a problem later on too. So use the proper products for the right timing.
Okay, so like Darren said, that first timing is herbicide timing. When you're out spraying your herbicide, just throw a half rate or a full rate of fungicide in then. The next really good timing that we've seen over the years has been flag leaf. And actually, if you look at a lot of the research data done by universities, they'll show you that the flag leaf timing is the very best, more than the herbicide timing, more than the heading timing that we'll also talk about later. That flag leaf timing is the best, but it's the least done. Why?
Well, it's just that tight little window. You know, when you look at that flag leaf, it's so important in terms of building yield in the wheat. And you just have this narrow window, and boy, right after that is heading. And if I could just wait a little bit, I could spray it heading and protect that head from head scab.
Well, Darren, here's the reason why I think a lot of farmers don't do the flag leaf timing. It's just that what else are you going to do with that timing? I mean, you're going to go out and spray fungicide. You're not spraying a herbicide. You're probably not going to spray an insecticide. What are you doing then?
I understand. You may say, you know, all these other timings, I can throw something else with it. I'm just worried about getting yield. And how much does it really cost you to go over the field one more time if you've got tram lines out there or you've already driven a path through the field? Follow that track. I think it's a good deal. I think year in and year out, that's going to be a good investment.
I'm not saying it's not a good deal, but I'm just saying I think that's the reason why a lot of people look at it as a timing that they don't really want to do. But it is something we would encourage you at least experiment with on your farm. When all I can tell you is when we've done that on our farm, we have found that we've gotten higher yield with flag leaf timing, even when we've done early and late spray timing.
Well, the other thing we get is peace of mind. You can actually sleep at night because you know what? If a disease does blow in, my most important leaves for determining my yield of my wheat are protected.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about that, because what if it starts raining for a week? All of a sudden, wow, I can't get out there. I can't do anything about it. At least I've got that protection out
Okay,
there.
so all the products you can use early, you can also use at flag leaf timing. Now it's whole different when you get into heading timing. Then you should only be using triazoles. Absolutely don't use astrobilurin, or you're likely going to have higher levels of DON.
You know, we've got some guys that say, well, I'm just going to use headline every time in my field,
Yeah.
all the way up till flag leaf. Well, if you use stamina seed treatment, then you use headline early, then you use headline again, I don't like that situation.
Yeah.
I like what BASF is doing with Preaxor, with Twinline, with some of these different combination products. So that's fine. If you want to use headline, that's great. If you're looking for just improving your plant health throughout the year, that's wonderful. But now you can put another fungicide with it to make sure we don't have any resistant diseases.
At heading, what we're worried about here is mainly rust and head scab. Okay, so if you're going to just be concerned about head scab, then I absolutely want to invest the money, Prosaro, Caramba, those types of products. If I'm just concerned about rust, then Folicure is probably the way to go, or generic Folicure like Aureus that costs literally $2 an acre for the full rate.
It's pretty good, but again, with Prosaro, yes, you have 2 triazoles, but you have 2 different products out there.
True.
And it's going to be a little bit better than just a straight Folicure is going to be.
I
if you
don't
have
know.
any amount of disease at all, it's going to be worth the difference.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's really going to be worth that difference if all I had was rust. That's
well,
all
if
I'm
you
saying.
had
If
$2
you also
wheat,
have
no.
some head scab.
But if you got $6 or $8 wheat, yes.
Okay, well, I think we're going to disagree on that a little bit. I'm probably going to go for the cheap method if all I'm concerned about is rust. But here's the problem. Do you know if you're going to have head scab or not? No, we don't. But that's why typically in our farm, yes, we are investing a few more dollars to go with Prosaro or Caramba, simply because we want to have extra head scab protection. Don't skimp out on the last couple bucks has generally been our motto.
Well, there's a lot to think about with disease control, but you can't forget about our weed of the week. We'll show you how to control this tough weed coming up next.